Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. Ladies and gentlemen, we turn the spotlight towards the state of Manipur. Our top focus, and we'll do a deep dive. We'll show you pictures, we'll show you images that have not been shown till now on national television. Images, footages, reality that nobody is actually talking about. And there is a reason why we are putting the spotlight on Manipur. Because for over a year, the situation in the state has been practically out of control with ethnic clashes. Agencies not being able to understand the weaponization situation or the level of weaponization and what is actually happening. The criticality at which the issues need to be dealt with. Both the state and the centre have tried to step up the efforts to bring forth normalcy, but the solution seems far, far away at the moment. And it's a cause not just of internal security, ladies and gentlemen, it's a cause of our national security because our very borders, the contours of our cartographic existence since 1947 is under challenge. Today on The Right Stand, we bring you the untold horror stories from the state of Manipur as claimed by the Meitei community. We show you exclusive satellite images. Satellite images of November 2022 before the violence in Manipur, a time when things were normal. Let's try and understand this. Now you are seeing, let's just look at this entire region. You see hutments, tenements, you see people living. There are people all over here. You see, this is all, this entire region right now, this is all satellite images. That means there is population, there are people. This is November 2022. Okay, these houses stood as symbols of continuity and community and harmony. Now, this is another image from May 2023 during the aftermath of the destruction. Now, you see what has happened? All these areas, there are no houses. It's all flattened. It's all flattened. You saw hutments, tenements, and it's all flattened. This whole thing is now flattened. So before and after, they've been reduced to gravel and rubble. And now, look at March 2024. So from November 2022 to May 2023 and now March 2024. Nothing. It's just been bulldozed, flattened and all these plots taken away. It's the same number of the plots. But if you look at the imagery, over the last 2 years, all this was Meitei property or Meitei existence. That's what the Meiteis are claiming. And all of this is gone. It's all been flattened. So let's go back again. Now you see this, March 2024. Can we call the first image up? November 2022. Now if you can see November 2022, look at November 2022. Look at this entire region. You see it's all populated with hutments, tenements, people, and this is all a community. Vibrant community living here in this region. And these plots are all marked. It's the same level of plots which are marked. See? It's all marked here. Okay, the numberings also you can note. This is what the Meitei community claims. Now, from November 2022, let's go to May 2023. Now, these are the pictures of May 2023. Now, have a look at this. May 2023, they're all flattened. All reduced to rubble. Entire settlements gone. In this entire plot, entire settlements all gone. All gone. And now, the confirmation that all these houses not just bulldozed and flattened, but also look at this, May 2024. Again, this is all done. They're now reduced to plots as if there was nothing there ever before. In 2 years, this is the region. This is what's happened. Meanwhile, some cookie houses remain standing in this region. This is what the Meiteis claim, that some of the cookie houses remain standing, emphasizing this unequal impact. This is as claimed by the Meiteis, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go across to Dr. Malam Ningthauja, who's an author, who's joining us at this point. Dr. Ankita Datta, researcher and columnist, and Arun Anand also joining us this evening. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Dr. Malam, can you take us through these images which the Meitei community claims is the result of what's happening there? And for a long time, the argument has been that the Meitei community has borne the brunt of these ethnic clashes. Where are these plots? Is it in Imphal? And can you take us through more details?
No, this images as you was trying to show is taken from Surachandpur district.
Surachandpur, ji.
Yes, Surachandpur district. Surachandpur district, as this place knows, there are valleys. You see, there is a misrepresentation, always trying to show hill and divide, but the truth is that Churasanpur district, though considered to be a hill district, has large amounts of valleys. Even the British carried out cadastral survey for land revenue collections and land tax and etc. There are large plots of valley, and this is indeed valley in the hills. And Churasanpur was originally belonged to one of the clans of the Meiteis, the Moirangs. They were settled there. And it's the late migrants, I should be saying, from 1840s, the Kukis and the Paites and other zombies started migrating to Manipur as subjects of Manipur, right? As subjects of Manipur. And there are reasons why they have migrated there. But then this migration has been continued. It's something like we have a parallel example of situations in Palestine, like the Zionist movement, who first came down as a settler colonialist or as refugees. These trends keep on, and as the number keeps on increasing, and as certain sectarian forces begin to think of creating a separate, exclusive ethnic or a confederated regions to create either a Christian state or whatever it is, then when they get this number, then these things happen. And this is not new in the history of Manipur. In 1917 to 1919, they carried out this kind of massive onslaughts or ethnic cleansings on Meiteis and the Kabui Nagas. And between 1992 to 1998, they did it in More towns, border towns, strategic towns, and that's how the Kuki Naga class begins. And they even tried to wipe out the Paites in 1997 to 1988. So it's quite a it's a phenomenon, and it has been a trend, and this ethnic cleansing trend has been following a historical track as far as I will not blame the entire Kuki people, but the sectarian and the terror outfits who are behind all these things, they are responsible for this. And this happens in Churasanpur, which was originally a place that belongs to the Moirang people. Of course, Moirang is part of Meitei now, and it happens to be an invincible part of the Manipur territory. This is where these migrants and the refugees.
How many people are you claiming have been affected because of this over the last 2 years?
There are about 5 villages mentioned in Churasanpur alone, and the number is estimated to be around 13,000 population.
13,000 population. But
But
there is a counter to this, Dr. Malam, before I bring in Ankita Datta and Arunanand. The counter is that even the Kukis are facing this. Even the Kukis have faced violence. Even the Kukis have been treated similar to what the Meitei community claims their people have been treated.
There is mobs, there is retaliations, and there is mass exodus, mass evictions, and there are some pockets where securities are providing, security. And the difference is that when there is mass exodus, or say when there is an attack on the Kukis, the properties still remain intact. There is nothing such as complete erasure of the material memory. So even if they want to come back, they will have their properties there out there.
So what you're saying, Dr. Malam, is that yes, there may be retaliation, and the Meitei may also be attacking the Kuk. So that's November 2022, and you can see clearly settlements which are there. And this is when they flattened in May 2023, and then totally razed. And not just that, bulldozer runs over all of this, and it just looks like plots. There's no proof of existence of any Meitei settlement. That's over the last, let's say, 1.5 to 2 years. Dr. Malam, you're saying that this is not reflective with the Kuki side. Yes, there may be retaliation, there may be violence, but their properties are not flattened and bulldozed like this. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, this kind of phenomenon has never occurred, as far as I know, in any part of the country, except 1 or 2 instances of demolitions of churches or mosques in other parts of the country. It's quite phenomenon. It's like, trying to completely erase the existence, the memory, and even the plots. It's quite phenomenon. I mean,
what triggered this, if I may ask you, and then I'll bring in Ankita Datta and Arunanand. What triggered this? In November 2022, what triggered this? After about 4 or 5 years of peace, suspension of arms, etc.
Why November 22? No, what do you mean by November 22?
No, what happened, what triggered this rekindling of the fight and the conflict is what I'm asking you, Dr. Malam.
Oh, it's been a long process. It's a complex process, and what's the immediate action is to to protest what you call the war against drugs, and to protest against the detections of immigrations and to regulate unregulated influx of populations, to check the forest lands, that is the protected forest and the reserve forest areas, to protect it, to evict encroachers, and to stop poppy cultivations. These sectarian forces who are behind all these things, and they also have this agenda of creating a separate homeland. They communalize the issue. They communalize the national security concerns in such a way that whatever the Manipur government did has been completely communalized and misguided the innocent people. And they relate on these forces to, these innocent masses, to bring them into this level of destructions, whereby dragging Meiteis and others into this conflict, and to show it as some kind of Christians being attacked by Hindus, or majority attacking majority attacking minorities, non-tribals attacking tribals. All kinds of misrepresentations and propaganda warfare has been carried out. But the exact the exact agenda is for personal profit, and which has been canalized, and also to exert for some kind of power whereby the state is completely destabilized and causes the state to completely paralyze and pursue their hidden agenda, which is militant in character, and which also has a very sectarian and communal approach. It's very complex. I mean, in this short moment,
right.
I can't tell you everything, but
we'll talk at length. Let me just bring in Ankita Datta, who's been studying this region in a detailed manner. She's also looked at the entire demographic change and the influence in this region in the northeast, and she's done her thesis on that too. Ankita Datta ji, you concur with what Dr. Malam is saying. Arun ji, coming to you after this. Yes. Yes, Ankita ji.
Yes. This is from Namaste. This is from Churachandpur. So all these were earlier Meitei settlements: Kumbi Pukri, Mata Lairembig, Kumujamba Meitei Lekai, Mandop Lekai, and Kugatampak. And these are the localities which are situated in the neighborhood of the Churachandpur district headquarters. They were set ablaze, they were bulldozed and looted systematically. They were systematically destroyed by Kuki mobs with the use of heavy machineries during the violence of 2023. And these localities at present, as you show, as we have already seen in the pictures, they now wear the look of a completely war devastated zone. Hundreds of Meitei Hindu families were forced out of their ancestral homes. Forest offices were burnt, temples were desecrated, and intermittent firing had taken place on the peripheral Meitei villages, and this firing continued unabated for several months since the violence began. And arms and ammunitions were also looted from a gun shop at Churachandpur by Kuki militants on the evening of 3rd May 2023. And these same looted arms and ammunitions were used against the Meitei residents of the district, that is Churachandpur. And if we recall, see the local Kuki Zo people, they have always attempted to hijack and claim the sacred sites of Manipur. And
right.
See, these sites are sacred historically, not just for the indigenous Meiteis and the Vishnupriyas, but also the Nagas. I remember this one incident when the Kuki militants, they had molested 2 young women who were going for their puja at the sacred Thangjing Hills in 2010. And pilgrims visiting the sacred Thangjing Hills and Mount Kobru, they have been repeatedly harassed. Kuki militants have prevented non-Kukis from even celebrating their festivals such as Holi and Deepavali in areas where they have become a majority. As Malem Ninthoja sir has rightly said, the border town of More, which was earlier a kind of microcosm of India, and it was home to a sizable population of Nagas, Bengali Hindus, Tamil Hindus, Meiteis, Malayalis, Nepalis. The way in which this vibrant multicultural border town has been eventually today transformed into a stronghold of Kuki militants and Burmese illegal immigrants. This process began way back in 1992 after the Naga Kuki clashes, and it was after these clashes that the Kukis adopted a very well-planned policy of isolating and driving out each community, every single non-community Kuki from Moray, one at a time. So this relentless attempt of the Kukis to drive out non-Kukis is the first step towards creating an independent Kuki nation, including parts of Bharat, Myanmar and Bangladesh. This person, president of the Kuki National Organization, P.S. Haukip, he has formally documented the nature of this independent Kuki nation in his book Dalingam, which means a separate Kuki homeland. And he clearly mentions this nation as a Lebanzaram for the Kuki Chin Mizo language speakers, where they can freely worship Jesus Christ. And many of the Kuki Chin Mizo language speaking community leaders, their politicians like Mark Haukip, Mafili Lando from Mizoram, they have clearly indicated time and again that this nation for Christ shall neither coexist, and it will not coexist, and it will also not respect the religious freedom and human rights of non-Christians.
Right. So you're saying that the situation is far more complex and it's been building over the last many decades, not just a few years.
Yes, but since the late 1980s and the early 1990s.
It's been developing. Arun Anandji, before we move on to yet another input on Manipur, we'll stay on this story through this larger course of this edition of The Right Stand. Yes, Arun Anand.
See, I was listening to my fellow speakers. I think there are much deeper fault lines because of which this conflict is happening. If you look at the demographic profile of Manipur, how it has changed. So in 1969, there were 587 Meitei villages. And in 2021, their number came down to 544. Whereas the number of Kuki villages, which were 216 in 1969, the number went up to 544. And there are a lot of illegal immigrants, which were coming. And another aspect which was mentioned. So another aspect of this problem is the war against, drugs, or war against the poppy and the cannabis cultivation. So I'll give you a data which will explain that why this conflict zone, Churachandpur, has become a conflict zone. So you see, in between 2013 to 2016, overall around 2,000 acres poppy cultivation and cannabis cultivation. So it was removed by the government authorities from about 2,000 acres. Now, if you look at the data of 2017 to 2023, after which the conflict started, the government went, they removed the poppy and cannabis cultivation from 18,688 hectares, almost like basically you can say 19,000 hectares. And 2,700 acres was in Churachandpur, from which it was removed. Right. So, and the third thing is because it's a border state, and church has been very active, amongst the Kukis. And if you look at the geographical profile also, I think my fellow speakers, they do much more research. So if you look at that also, Meiteis are surrounded around Imphal, and then the Kukis and Nagas, basically, it's like a bowl kind of a thing. So they are on the periphery. So they are surrounding them. And because Meiteis have not got the ST status, so they can't do, much beyond, they can't buy property, they can't do a lot of things in, if they go beyond Imphal. And then the demography is also changing. So obviously, these are the deeper fault lines, and I think unless these are addressed, so we'll be just, managing the, symptoms. So that's why this conflict has, now kind of gone for so long.
Yeah, but it does not stop there with an internal strife or conflict. Like Dr. Malam has said, Ankita Datta has said, this is now becoming a huge national security issue because of the borders with Myanmar, what perhaps is happening or brewing in Mizoram, the regime change in Bangladesh, the Chinese and Western hegemonies trying to exert their influence. And it's a huge question on the sovereignty of Bharat. Now, more on this story as we continue the conversation. Another aspect which is important, that it's not a conflict in Manipur just The violence is actually spiraling between two communities in the state, and the use of drones and missiles in the recent attacks have actually made the agencies deeply concerned. The recovery of sophisticated ammunition from Manipur has actually led to serious questions about the availability of weapons from Myanmar, working of the state police and security forces. Our security affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us these inputs that the Manipur police sources have told CNN News 18 that arms storehouse in the bases of the insurgents in Manipur is deeply concerning. Insurgents are getting access to high-flying drones and missile systems is another concern for the cops and security agencies. They are actually using AK-47, INSAS and carbine rifles, which is another major concern. Armed fighters are having access to as many as 6,000 arms that have made police and security really worried. The Manipur government source is also telling CNN News 18 that there's pressure on the state to push central forces deep inside Manipur. Senior CRPF officials, including the DG, was in Manipur for 5 days to ensure this move. 2 Assam Rifles battalions have actually been taken out, and the CRPF has moved deeper inside Manipur. G. Sri Kumar Menon will be joining us, a former director, National Academy of Customs and Narcotics. Dr. Malem, Dr. Ankita Datta and Arun Anand also stay on with us. Now, Dr. Malem, if I can ask you this forces, the Manipur police is seen as largely Meitei, Assam Rifles are seen as largely having a lot of the Kuki presence within them in their rank and file. Have the forces started taking sides? And the CRPF coming in there in Manipur, how is it going to help? Do they understand the lay of the land, the dynamics? What is going to resolve this?
You're talking about 2-3 things. You're talking about Manipur police taking sides, and I will obviously say that no. The Manipur government in 2022, I think, has already declared that it cannot be a partner to suspension of operations, and it has the responsibility to take care for the security concerns, law and order of the land, and also for the protections of the property and these things of the people. And as far as I could see, Manipur police has not taken a very strong offensive actions against the Kuki militants, Kuki terror outfits, except retaliatory actions. So I think, you know, the attempt to project Manipur police as a partisan force is highly, a misrepresentation, I should be saying. And as far as the central forces is concerned, I think the government of India has got its own geo-strategic agenda, and it knows what its central security forces are doing and what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. What are the lapses and what are the weak points? I think they are big calculating, working on this. They have taken over, the command of the Unified Command, chairmanship of the Unified Command through a directly nominated persons, and a security advisor has been promptly, installed there. So I think they are working on it. Maybe they're still calculating. Yes, people are not satisfied. The victims of the terror attacks are not happy, but I think government is still taking a very proactive actions, and we have to see to what extent peace and tranquility would be immediately restored. But to say again that to project Manipur police as a partisan force is highly misrepresentation.
I'm just saying that's the narrative. I'm not saying that is true. I'm just saying so to project the Assam Rifles also as partisan is unfair on the Assam Rifles. But that's the perception, and that's being built, and that certain groups, that there is a reason why the Assam Rifles has also been moved out. The CRPF has moved in, but do these people understand the lay of the land? Or perhaps the bigger solution is that you go down and totally destroy the entire poppy base. You don't touch the population, but the poppy base, absolutely, you try and border and mark those borders with Myanmar, which is supposed to be a free and open border, mark that out. How are we going to resolve this, G. Sri Kumar Menon?
Good evening, Anand. Thanks for the invite. My reading is that the present situation in Manipur is a combination or a cocktail of drugs and religion. When we speak of drugs, we have to go beyond Myanmar, beyond Manipur. Myanmar holds the key because the Kukis by themselves are not major producers of any kind of drugs. But across the border, you will find Myanmar has the largest production of opium today. They are manufacturing methamphetamine and a global leader in crystal methamphetamine. And all these drugs are flowing through India also, apart from the going to Thailand and other places. But what is worrying now is these cookies have been entrapped in this drug business, and we should learn from the experience of South America that once you enrich a few drug traffickers, it is very difficult to dislodge them. And that is exactly what has happened in Manipur. If you will recall, the day Mr. Biren Singh, Chief Minister, I mean, hats off to him, he had the courage to do it, which I don't think many of the Chief Ministers in India don't have. He started a war on drugs. But a war on drugs without proper preparation. If you ask me why proper preparation, just think, Anand. We have a NCB office in Imphal, which is manned by a very junior functionary. It's just a sub-zonal office. In such a major crisis, I mean, we don't have even a proper office. You forget about the people and other things. So this is the way we are handling it. And my reading is also that the present move, what they have done of withdrawing the Assam rifles appears to be misconceived for the simple reason. Assam rifles, we can't blame them, because other day I saw some official has come on record saying that the CRPF is better equipped than Assam rifles. So what prevented the government from proper training and equipping the Assam rifles? And 2022, they have been empowered under the NDPS Act. It's only in 22 they were empowered. Now, when you say empower, how do you train the force? Nothing has been done. By simply saying that we are empowering the force, how do you prevent all these things from happening? And Myanmar itself is having around 3 major terror groups, and the most dangerous is the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army. I think my co-pan from the northeast sector would support me in this. Now, this is the root cause, and then they are trying to carve out a separate nation.
No, there are
involving India,
right.
Bangladesh, as well as Myanmar.
The Kukichin region, and this is something that Sheikh Hasina has also hinted at, saying that there is an active effort to try and create something like an East Timor kind of a situation in this region. And then, like I said, put it very, very simply or loosely, there are 2 hegemonistic forces. There is the Chinese, and then there is the Western hegemony, and both are trying to create access and create a base there and assert their own dominance there. But at the cost of Bharat, its people, its sovereignty, that's a huge, huge concern. We got one more aspect before I open this up and we dedicate some more time. This is again, as far as the drug aspect of it, Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us these details that how radical groups from Bangladesh, with the easy availability of weapons from Myanmar, are going to procure sophisticated weapons, are actually arming the insurgents in Manipur. There's a bigger plot to also destabilize Bharat. Top intelligence sources have said that recent Bangladesh tension is sufficient to escalate the situation in Manipur currently. Bangladesh-based radical group Jamaatul Ansar Fal Hindal Sharkia, a terror group linked to the Al-Qaeda, has come very close ties with the Kukichin National Front. Both Jamaat and KNF are conducting arms training camps in Chittagong hill tracts. Earlier, it has also come to the notice that Jamaat and KNF have a written pact for conducting training. The Jamaatul Ansar Fil Hamdal Sharkia agenda is to destabilize Bharat, and right now northeast-based insurgent groups are ready to join with them with the same agenda. The West plot to carve out a separate nation, the drug money from Myanmar to procure weapons, and the radical agenda from the Al-Qaeda-backed group has become a very deadly cocktail to destabilize Bharat. Some serious concerns that the government cannot ignore. Earlier, the Jamaatul Ansar Fil Hamdal Sharkia and also the Kukichin Association came on the radar of attacking government installations in Bangladesh, and some 20 KNF members were actually apprehended with firearms. Indian security agencies say Kukichin Front, backed by Bangladesh radicals, are capable of destabilizing this entire region. Dr. Malab?
Yes. What is the question?
Is there evidence to support this claim, this theory that there could be radical outfits, although contrary to each other in terms of their religious paths, but similar within the agenda, and this is a deadly cocktail that's actually brewing?
No, the elements of foreign elements is very much there. Look at the look at the guns and the ammunitions and the drones and the rockets they are using. Where does they come from? They may be claiming that it's indigenously manufactured, but how can the 3D printers be indigenously procured? How can the detonators of bombs, drones, etc. can be indigenously manufactured? That's one thing. But there is another global aspect starting from as early as 1988 when Joe reunification organizations was flouted in 1988. This was the year when the Kuki armed militants have started emerging, and it was around this time that they wrote a letter to the president of America saying that help us in carving out a territory comprising Kuki Chin Mizo dominated areas in the Bangladesh, Burma, and India. This global aspect of requesting for Western countries in the name of Christianity to seek for solidarity and whatever support, either through the governments or through institutions like church and funding agencies, have been going on since 1988. This is what I want to point it out. Right. And I'm sure it doesn't end there. They were only waiting for the time to garner their strength, military power, and the situations to carry out military insurrections. Before that, they remain submissive to the systems, be part of the system, manipulate the systems, misuse the systems to expand their agenda, increase their population, intensify territorial control, carry out drug trading, poppy cultivations to collect raise funds to procure more arms. But when the situation is ripe, then military preparations has been underway from 1988. Right. And luckily, they took advantage of the leniency shown by the Indian state under the terms quote-unquote suspension of operations, which clandestinely began in 2005 and then formalized in 2008. They are making use of such leniency being shown by the government of India to prepare for a military strength to wage war against India. I'm telling you again, this is not a conflict between Meiteis and the Kukis alone. I'm saying it's the conflict between Kuki terrorists and the concerns of the nations, the India. It is threat to the national security.
So you're saying it's not just an ethnic fight, there is also this entire secessionist agenda which is going to hurt India overall. Arun Anand?
Yeah, see, Anand, there are three main aspects of this whole issue. One is that, if you look, there is a common pattern. The common pattern is, and this is not on, and it is happening on all the border states, whether it is Punjab, whether it is Kashmir, whether it is Northeast. That is change the demography, create local conflict, pump in drugs, and then, use narcotics also to smuggle the arms. And drones are being used, everywhere to drop the drugs and the arms. And and there are four players basically who are indulged in this. One is, of course, ISI in Pakistan. Second is China. It's state spy agency, MSS, Ministry of State Security. The third one is the Western Deep State, which works through church in the northeastern. There is a credible evidence with the agencies also, which works through church basically and through Christian communities in northeastern states. And the fourth one now, the new player which has entered is Bangladesh. Right. So this is overall the situation. So it's not only related to, though we are focusing on Manipur right now, but if you look at Arunachal Pradesh, there is a tribal versus non-tribal, tensions are building up there also. Look at Nagaland. Look at, other places. Look at Assam, basically. There is migrant versus non-migrant issue, which is good. So it's a common pattern, basically, which is emerging everywhere. So I think it needs to be looked at from this national security perspective, as you rightly pointed out.
Right. Ankita Datta?
Yes, see, way back in October 2022, the Bangladeshi army and the security forces had launched a massive crackdown, which was followed by a major military operation against the Kuki Chin National Front, KCNF. which is based in the Chittagong region of Bangladesh. Now, this KCNF, it is involved in a long-standing plan to establish a separate Christian state in the region. And in order to hide its actual agenda of establishing a Christian state, leaders of the KCNF have joined hands with several Bangladesh-based Islamic terror outfits, and reportedly it was providing weapons, bomb-making equipments, shelter and training in the hilly areas of Bandarban to this outfit called Jamatul Ansar fil Hindal Sharqiya, which was established in 2018. As you said, it is supported by the Pakistan-based AQIS, that is the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, and the Bangladesh chapter of the Harkatul Jihad al-Islami. This organization, Jamatul Ansar fil Hindal Sharqiya, which is also commonly known as the Sharqiya group, it is trying to establish its base in the CHT Chittagong Hill Tracts region of Bangladesh with military aid and support from the Kuki Chin National Front, which is a very, very dangerous development that has wider implications for Northeast India. The Assam Rifles has confirmed the dangerous links between the KCNF and this Sharqiya group several times in the past. And kingpins of this Islamist group, Sharqiya group, it was reported that they wanted to buy lands and carry out militant activities under the garb of agricultural farms in several areas of Bangladesh and the border areas of Northeast. They were also planning to lure local residents towards religious conversion and facilitate training of new recruits in the Chittagong region. And that is why for this mission, the organization had established secret connections with several leaders of the Islamic fundamentalist movement Tablighi Jamaat.
Right.
So the relations between the KCNF, that is the Kuki Chin National Front, and the Jamatul Ansar fil Hindal Sharqiya, they are purely strategic. The KCNF is using the Sharqiya group for spreading terror-related activities within the targeted hilly areas of Bangladesh and India, and also the Arakan state of Myanmar, so that they can achieve their real agenda of establishing a separate Christian state by disintegrating and dividing lands belonging to Bangladesh, Bharat and Myanmar. And once such a vicious plot is materialized, Western powers would have access to this entire region. They can ride on their plans of a Christian state, which they could then use as their own vassal state. So this is a serious threat to the national security of India, Bangladesh and Myanmar.
But the amount of resources, the money they have, G. Sri Kumar Menonji, and the final aspect on this story, 60,000 crore reportedly is the drug economy there in that region. Whereas the state budget is 35,000 crore. Now, how do we do that? Look at the kind of arms, weapons, everything. 18,000 plus hectares of land of poppy cultivation has been destroyed, but they still are armed to the teeth. And they still, that entire area is still flourishing in the drug trade.
Anand, their money comes from methamphetamine trade and yaba trade. It is not opium. Opium because it's only a raw material and a plant-based product, but the synthetic drugs, methamphetamine, crystal methamphetamine and yaba, they are the main source of their income, number one. Number two, India was warned by the UNODC as early as 2022 that there is a dangerous drug situation brewing there. But maybe, I don't know, we took it lightly. And between July 2022 and July 2023, in the span of 1 year, Manipur police, they have seized about $127 million worth of drugs.
Wow.
That is, really mind-boggling, and I think we are underplaying the situation. And this religious angle which has come in is also very, very dangerous. I don't know how we are going to tackle it because the Christian angle has come in. The Muslim angle also is there because Bangladesh is also going to get affected, as Sheikh Hasina was pointing out. But it's a very dicey situation, and how we are going to respond is a very big problem. Meanwhile, the Chinese are also coming with the China-Myanmar corridor.
Right.
And they are seeking an ingress into the Indian Ocean. So that is another added dimension. I think the government needs to really beef up the entire Northeast security apparatus, because we have got 1,600 kilometers. It is just not Manipur. 1,600 kilometers traversing more than 4 states. So unless we have a comprehensive plan to take care of the situation, we are going to be in a very deep soup, because we can't keep on battling all over. It's going to be a very big situation for the government of India.
Well, on the one hand, great thinkers had said religion is the opiate of masses, but right now the entire opioid business is using religion to totally corrupt and divide the masses. So that's the irony of the things, how they are turning out, and quite a dire and serious situation. Internal security, national security, integrity, ethnicity, and of course the entire aspect of the cultural significance and relevance of that entire region. Everything is under question. To the lady and the gentleman, thank you very, very much. Very engaging, informative conversation that we've had. I'm going to request Ankita Datta and Arun Anand to stay on with us. G. Sri Kumar Menon and Dr. Malam, thank you. Thank you for joining us here on The Right Stand. Quickly moving on, ladies and gentlemen. It's another CNN News 18 mega exclusive. There are attacks on Hindus which are not exaggerated, as the interim government head had stated. What Mohammad Yunus had said that you are exaggerating. He blamed Bharat for exaggerating this, saying they're largely political and not communal. But intel sources have told CNN News 18 that more than 1,000 attacks on minorities have been reported. In fact, a Bangladesh national daily itself has reported more than 1,065 attacks. Attacks majorly on Hindus, Christians and Ahmadiyas, who have also not been spared. Bangladesh's leading paper, Prothomolo, reported 1,068 attacks on minorities between the 5th of August and the 20th of August. 20th of August. Attacks on minorities took place across 49 districts. 49. They had reportedly said it's limited to only 29, but this is the number that the newspaper or the daily is reporting in Bangladesh. 49 districts. Hindus mostly attacked post Hasina's departure. Hindu houses, businesses and places of worship have been targeted, and the attacks were mostly in the Khulna district of Bangladesh. The statue of Mother Mary was damaged in the Nijpara mission in Thakurgaon. Even missionary schools and colleges were on the radar of violent radicals. Even an Ahmadiyya mosque was burnt down, and there are very, very disturbing visuals of the same that we have accessed here at CNN News 18. Those are some of the visuals. Dr. Ankita Datta and Arun Anand with us. Arunji, your take on what's happening in Bangladesh and why it should concern us. Nobody is using the hashtag Bangladeshi Hindus. All eyes were on Rafah. There were Black Lives Matter, that everybody took a knee down for George Floyd. But what about Bangladeshi Hindus? Many are asking this question. Why is this being blanked out?
I think that has been the plight of Hindus, across the world. It's not only, look at even, Pakistan when something happens. So there are no eyes on, minorities in Pakistan. But let's talk about Bangladesh. See, Bangladesh, I have a slightly different take. I think it's not an immediate issue. I think, the whole of East Bangladesh, it has largely been basically, the sentiment, the anti-Hindu sentiment has been there since early 20th, data which shows the first major riot which happened was an aftermath of, the Bengal divide. In 1905 or 1906, and it went on 18 months. It was in Memon Singh, and after that, the whole and 2/3 of the Muslims in India were residing in the pre-partition Bengal, and this whole concept of Pakistan also basically emerged from the East Bangladesh because Muslim League was set up there. So communalism, anti-Hindu sentiment, what I want to say, deeply rooted in the demography of, and in the culture of whatever you call culture, or, I shouldn't call it culture, but the overall, the social structure of East Bangladesh has been such, and we have been actually basically, been brushing under the carpet. After 1971 also, if you look at from 1905 to 2024, there has not been even a single year where there has been no communal riot, and where Hindus have not been targeted, not even a single year. Right. But we have been brushing it under the carpet, and of course, the Awami League government, it was doing much better than the previous governments. It had banned Jamaat-e-Islami, but right now, I think the crux of the problem is that Pakistan has moved in, the Western deep state has, moved in. ISI has taken control of Bangladesh, and through Jamaat, basically, especially, it is specifically targeting. Jamaat has a record of being, anti-Hindu. So, through Jamaat, and Jamaat also came into existence in, early 1940s. And since then, whether it is, Kashmir or whether it is Bangladesh or whether it is Pakistan, they have been consistently anti-Hindu. So again, I think we need to look at it in a greater historical context.
Right. Ankita Datta?
Yes, so Bangladesh, there is violence against Hindus all because of their Hindu identity, and this crisis can easily lead to the rise of an Islamist regime there, which will naturally see an increase in the powers of these Islamic fundamentalist groups like the Jamaatul Ansar, the Sharqiya group, which is working hand in gloves with Kuki militant organizations such as the KCNF based in the Chittagong Hills in terms of finances and training. So obviously an Islamic Bangladesh will lend them more support to their bases and to expanding their activities in the country, and this might also see a greater involvement from Mizoram, since the government of Mizoram has been working upon continuously to create this unique Kuki Chin Mizo identity for establishing a separate Christian Kuki nation, and exactly for this reason it has been allowing illegal Kuki immigrants, particularly the militants of this Bangladesh-based Kuki Chin National Front, to settle in their territory. And selective targeting of Hindus in Bangladesh, this is nothing but a stark manifestation of Hindu hatred, I would say. Multiple assaults on the Hindu identity in multiple countries, in multiple platforms, including social media, all at the same time, they have been always going on so casually and in such a manner that it now seems to have become completely normalized.
Right. Right. Ankita Datta, Arun Anand, thank you for your time. We got to take a short break and pause this conversation, but we'll continue to turn the spotlight on this region. There is a lot that's brewing in, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to, take a higher up overall 30,000 feet view, over our macro view of what's happening and how it's going to impact our lives on a daily basis, and more importantly, Bharat's growth story. Talking about growth, talking about happy tidings, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Prime Minister's very candid, honest, straight from the heart interaction with our Paralympian heroes. Stay with us.
In that case,
right, I'm so sorry to interrupt you over there. In fact, we have some live visuals coming in from Tihar jail. Arvind Kejriwal finally stepping out of Tihar jail. This is the big breaking news we are bringing to you right now, that the Delhi Chief Minister is finally out on bail, stepping out. It's been raining cats and dogs, as you can see, and amid this heavy rainfall, there are celebrations happening outside Tihar jail as all of the Aam Aadmi Party cadres have gathered outside to welcome the chief convener of the Aam Aadmi Party, the Chief Minister of New Delhi. You can hear amid chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal stepping out, looking extremely jubilant and victorious over there, holding a mic and reaching out, sending a message. Let's also listen in.
अरे यहीं आएंगे भाई, यहीं आएंगे, नहीं है, स्पीड चल रही है, स्पीड चल अरे भाई साहब मस्जिद में, गुरुद्वारे में लोगों का मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। मेरे जिंदगी का एक एक पल, मेरे शरीर का एक एक कतरा, मेरे खून का एक एक कतरा देश के लिए समर्पित है। मैंने जिंदगी में बहुत संघर्ष किया है, बहुत बड़े संघर्ष किए, जिंदगी में बहुत मुसीबतें झेली है, लेकिन हर कदम पे भगवान ने मेरे साथ दिया। ऊपर वाले ने मेरा साथ दिया। क्यों? क्योंकि मैं सच्चा था, मैं सही था, इसलिए भगवान ने मेरा साथ दिया। इन लोगों ने मुझे जेल में डाल दिया। इन लोगों को लगा कि केजरीवाल को जेल में डाल देंगे तो केजरीवाल के हौसले टूट जाएंगे। आज मैं आपको कहना चाहता हूं, मैं जेल से बाहर आया हूं, मेरे हौसले 100 गुना ज्यादा बढ़ गए हैं। मेरी ताकत 100 गुना ज्यादा बढ़ गई है। इनकी जेल की मोटी मोटी दीवारें, इनकी जेल की सलाखें केजरीवाल के हौसले को कमजोर नहीं कर सकती। मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूं, जैसे आज तक ऊपर वाले ने मेरे को रास्ता दिखाया, ऊपर वाले ने मेरे को ताकत दी, ऐसे ही भगवान मुझे रास्ता दिखाता रहे, मैं देश की सेवा करता रहूं। और ये जितनी राष्ट्र विरोधी ताकतें हैं जो देश के विकास को रोक रही हैं, जो देश को बांटने का काम कर रही हैं, जो देश को अंदर से कमजोर करने का काम कर रही हैं,
बाकी लोगों के लिए आप पीएम का मतलब होता है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर, और हम सब के लिए आप पीएम का मतलब है परम मित्र।
शीतल की सिग्नेचर मिल जाएगी आज मुझे।
जाने से पहले आप जब सबसे बात करते हो और फिर आने के बाद सबसे मिलते हैं, आई थिंक सारे मेडलिस्ट, सारे एथलीट यही सोचते हैं कि हमें यही मौका मिले। सर, लोग पैरा को अभी तक अपनाए नहीं जिस तरह आपने अपनाया है।
मैं बहुत लोग को बोलता है हमारा ब्रांड एम्बेसडर कौन है? हमारा मोदी जी हमारा ब्रांड एम्बेसडर।
तो क्या पहनाना चाहोगे? तो मैं यहाँ बैठता हूँ, तुम पहनाओ। तुम मुझसे बड़े हो, दिखाई दे। इस बार जिनकी रील सबसे ज्यादा पॉपुलर हुई, वहां तो तुमने दिन निकाल दिए। अब घर में क्या होगा तेरा? सिमरन
सर, ये जितना अच्छा बन के दिखा रहा है इतना है नहीं।
कभी ना कभी ऐसे प्रेशर आता रहता है कि आपको परफॉर्म करना है। जब आप बोलते हो कि आप जाओ बस खेलो, हाँ जीत हार तो लगी रहती है, फिर नीचे वाले ये सब ऐसे लगते हैं अरे देख लेंगे।
जब टोक्यो में गोल्ड लेके आए तो आपने प्रॉमिस लिया था कि ऐसे ऐसे 2 गोल्ड और चाहिए मेरे को। तो ये दूसरा सर आपके लिए
कुछ न कुछ अच्छी बातें हुई होंगी, मैं जरा सुनना चाहता हूँ।
जैसे हम सारे लोग मोस्टली स्पॉन्सर्ड एथलीट हैं गवर्नमेंट से, डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, तो वहाँ से कभी ना कभी ऐसे प्रेशर आता रहता है कि आपको परफॉर्म करना है, ये सारी चीज़ें। जब आप बोलते हो कि आप जाओ बस खेलो, हाँ जीत हार तो लगी रहती है, फिर नीचे वाले ये सब ऐसे लगते हैं अरे देख लेंगे क्या जाता है। और जब अपने देश का प्रधानमंत्री हमें मोटिवेट कर रहा है तो ये बहुत छोटी चीज़ लगने लगती है।
सर, मैं शरद कुमार हूँ, मेरा ये 2nd मेडल रहा है, मैं 3rd टाइम पैरालंपिक्स।
शरद और संदीप दोनों को भाषण करने के लिए बोलूँ तो कौन सबसे ज़्यादा अच्छा करेगा?
सर ये सर संदीप बहुत अच्छा बोलता है और शायद इसलिए थोड़ा सा पोत रह गया।
क्योंकि इतनी कठिनाइयों के बाद और चलिए ट्रैक पर गाड़ी आई, जिंदगी बनाई, बीच में रुकावट आ गई और बीच में नई समस्या आई और फिर भी तूने अपना मकसद नहीं छोड़ा, तो बहुत बड़ी बात है। बहुत बधाई हो आपको।
मेरे को भी याद है सर, जब टोक्यो में गोल्ड लेके आए तो आपने प्रॉमिस लिया था कि ऐसे ऐसे 2 गोल्ड और चाहिए मेरे को। तो ये दूसरा सर आपके लिए है।
जिंदगी भर में इनके खिलाफ लड़ा हूं, आगे भी ऐसे ही लड़ता रहूंगा। भारत माता की, भारत माता की।
All right, so the Aam Aadmi Party chief convener and of course the chief minister of Delhi over there declaring that his power and spirits have only gotten stronger and he hopes that God will keep showing him the way forward to serve the country and that he will keep fighting for this country and that he was always right and that he's been granted the bail is only testament to the fact that he's always fought for the truth. Let's quickly go across to Yash Goyal who's reporting live for us. All right, in fact, let me quickly bring in Anmol Panwar, the spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's try to bring Anmol, but Amit, that's a very emphatic message coming out there from the Delhi Chief Minister. Also going on to accuse the government at the centre for taking after him. How is the BJP now going to respond to the fact that this is also a very heated political climate right now? You have the Haryana election coming up. Many are also questioning the fact that this is going to put you on a sticky wicket, the BJP on a sticky wicket, now that a very confident Arvind Kejriwal is out on bail.
Ma'am, if you recall,
जो निर्णय आया है और जांच एजेंसियों की निष्पक्षता को लेकर जो सवाल खड़ा किया गया, उस विषय पे भाजपा को ध्यान देना चाहिए, ना कि उनके लोग के राजनीतिक बयान देना चाहिए।
Now I will do this, I will do that. But what happened? He lost all 7 seats. So it's not going to be a case of that it will make a lot of difference. They have already lost couple of elections, be it Chhattisgarh, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Gujarat, be it Goa, be it Uttarakhand, be it Haryana on the last occasion, be it Uttar Pradesh. So it's not that. And now what is he saying? He is saying that I am going, मैं देश की सेवा करने के लिए ऐसे ही करता रहूंगा। कौन से देश की सेवा कर रहे हो आप? You are a token chief minister who can't visit his own office. You are not even doing anything for the Delhi public. And now you are saying that मैं देश की सेवा करूंगा. This is nothing but all drama. Self-serving political narrative is sought to be created, but people have realized him. Now his stand has changed. He has been exposed. His dual character has been exposed. If you remember, he was carrying a list of 25-30 people before 2013 saying that these people are corrupt. I have evidence against them. Did he take any action? Now, were they convicted at that point of time? Were they convicted by any honorable court? No, but still he leveled allegations. Now today there are allegations against him, charge sheet against him, but there is sufficient material against him. Still he is saying I am innocent. So this is the character of the man, a completely liar, shifts his stand in terms of his own convenience. That's all. But people have realized it.
All right, Sumit Akpal, if I could bring you in, the fact that there are still conditions accompanying Arvind Kejriwal's bail, would that have any kind of bearing on election campaign?
In that case,
all right, I'm so sorry to interrupt you over there. In fact, we have some live visuals coming in from Tihar jail. Arvind Kejriwal finally stepping out of Tihar jail. This is the big breaking news we are bringing to you right now, that the Delhi Chief Minister is finally out on bail, stepping out. It's been raining cats and dogs, as you can see, and amid this heavy rainfall, there are celebrations happening outside Tihar jail as all of the Aam Aadmi Party cadres have gathered outside to welcome the chief convener of the Aam Aadmi Party, the Chief Minister of New Delhi. You can hear amid chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal stepping out, looking extremely jubilant and victorious over there, holding a mic and reaching out, sending a message. Let's also listen in.
अरे यहीं आएंगे भाई, यहीं आएंगे। नहीं है, स्पीच चल रही है, स्पीच चल अरे भाई साहब प्रार्थना की मंदिर में, मस्जिद में, गुरुद्वारे में उन सब लोगों का मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ।
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. Welcome to the show. I'm Zaka Jacob. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was today granted bail by the Supreme Court. He's been in jail since March of 2024 with the brief interim where he was released, of course, on bail to campaign for the Lok Sabha elections in May. The bench of Justices Suryakant and Ujjwal Bhuyan was scathing on the CBI, saying that just because an accused is evasive in his or her replies does not mean that that is grounds for arrest. It also said that the only reason the CBI arrested Kejriwal was to ensure that he continued to remain in custody when it was clear that he was going to get bail in the ED case. But at the same time, the BJP is also latching on to the stringent conditions imposed on Arvind Kejriwal from performing his duties as Chief Minister. It is said that he cannot go to the Secretariat, that he cannot sign official files, that he cannot meet people on an official basis as Chief Minister. So, has the court drawn a line when it comes to personal liberties, personal freedoms, fundamental rights, which are on the one side weighed against accusations of corruption, howsoever grave they may be, even if they are under stringent provisions of the PMLA? Will this set a precedent? But first, the story.
लेकिन हर कदम पे भगवान ने मेरा साथ दिया। आगे भाई आगे, केजरीवाल आगे, आगे भाई आगे। ये भी आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर से साफ हो गया कि सीबीआई की गिरफ्तारी केवल और केवल एक इंश्योरेंस अरेस्ट थी। ईडी की जमानत से केजरीवाल जी बाहर आ जाएं, उनको रोकने के लिए।
अरविंद केजरीवाल को तुरंत चाहिए कि वो अपने पद से इस्तीफा दे दें।
All right, so while the Supreme Court has made it clear that Arvind Kejriwal cannot visit the Delhi Secretariat, he cannot sign any files in his official capacity as Chief Minister, the judgment was scathing on the CBI, the premier investigating agency, particularly the second judgment authored by Justice Ujjwal Bhuyan, pulling up the central agency, the handling of the investigation. And this is what I want to quote from the judgment. Not so long ago, the CBI was called a caged parrot. The CBI must ensure that perception of caged parrot is erased. Failed to understand the CBI's haste in arresting Kejriwal. CBI's arrest was to frustrate the bail granted to Kejriwal in the ED case. CBI moved only after it realized that Kejriwal was going to be granted bail in the Enforcement Directorate case. The timing of the CBI arrest raises suspicion. CBI cannot justify arrest on the grounds and continue detention on the grounds that an accused person is citing evasive replies. Accused has the right to remain silent and cannot be compelled to make a statement against himself. Deprivation of liberty, even for a single day, is one day too many. Belated arrest of the appellant by the CBI is unjustified. Continued incarceration of the appellant has become untenable. So the judgment, both the judges concurring in their decision that yes, there are grounds, there is merit to grant bail to Arvind Kejriwal. One of them going hammer and tongs at the manner of arrest of the Delhi Chief Minister by the CBI. Let's put this up to our guest, Pradeep Bhandari, national spokesperson of the BJP, here in our studios. Rajat Sethi, political analyst, joining us. Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist. Siddharth Sharma is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. He'll be joining us in a minute. Pradeep Bhandari, I just read out, it's scathing what the judgment has said about the CBI. Not so long ago, CBI was called a caged parrot. CBI must ensure perception of caged parrot is erased. Failed to understand CBI's haste in arresting Kejriwal. The only purpose of arresting Kejriwal by the CBI was to frustrate the bail that was to be granted. CBI moved in only after it knew that Kejriwal was to be granted bail in the ED case. Today, if I'm the director of the CBI, I'm the one who should be stepping down, given the ton loads that the Supreme Court has really befallen on the CBI and the manner of its investigation in this case.
Absolutely not, Zaka. If I am the director of CBI, it is Mr. Arvind Kejriwal who has to step down, because the order does not say so. Let us now look at what the reality is. There are two orders of the court, Zaka. I have the order of Mr. Justice Suryakant, in fact the opinion of Mr. Justice Suryakant. You just read out the opinion of Mr. Justice Udyan Bham. So what does the law say? The law say that if there are two differing opinions between the two judges, you will go to the order of the Supreme Court. This is the order of the Supreme Court, and let me read the order of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, in its order in point number 2, where it acknowledges that there is a differing opinion on the functioning of the CBI between Justice Ujjal Bhuyan and Justice Suryakant, but there is an agreement that the legality of the arrest was absolutely legal. It was legal, not for the first time, but for the fourth time the Supreme Court has said that the arrest is legal. So the process of law that the investigative agency followed was correct. Now let's go forward. What does the order say? The order goes ahead and says that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal cannot visit the Chief Minister office. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal cannot sign on the file. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has to give a bail bond of 10 lakh rupees. And again, it quotes further the para number 47 of Justice Suryakant's order. Now, please allow me to read.
Pradeep, look at those pictures. Look at those pictures. He's out.
Mr. Lalu Prasad
Yadav. Once again, he's out.
So what?
He is still Chief Minister of Delhi.
So
he
what?
is going to campaign in Haryana. He is going to campaign in Delhi. Once again, let me finish. Look at those pictures. Just look at those pictures.
Zaka.
He is going to campaign in Haryana. He is going to campaign in Delhi. I am not saying that anybody has given Mr. Kejriwal a clean sheet. You and your government kept him in jail for the better part of the last 8 months. Today, the Supreme Court has said the CBI had no business arresting him.
Zaka,
please respond.
very humble disagreement. The Supreme Court has not said this. There are two
I just
judges.
read.
No, you read one of the judges.
CBI moved in after Kejriwal was granted bail in ED case.
Who's
Timing of the arrest raises suspicion.
Zaga, who's the judge? Please
the judge is Justice Ujjal Bhayan.
Now,
First of all, these are two separate judgments, concurring judgments.
No, they don't concur on the working of CBI.
The concurrence is on granting bail to Mr. Kejriwal.
And the legality of the arrest.
Both judges have concurred on giving bail to Kejriwal. Now answer.
The judges have not concurred on the opinion of the CBI which you are reading. So CBI's caged parrot is not the opinion of the Supreme Court of India. When two judges differ on what they perceive of the CBI, you cannot say that the Supreme Court has it.
Justice Ujjal Bhayan has said not so long ago CBI was called caged parrot. That was also the opinion of one judge.
No, that was
not the opinion of the entire judgment.
Absolutely.
No, that was the opinion of one judge.
Zaga, was it the opinion of Justice Suryakant? Did he agree with him?
Sir, this is a concurring judgment.
No.
As far as the matter of bail, for Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, both judges have agreed.
And also on the legality of arrest.
On the legality of arrest. Yes, both of them have said that there was no reason to arrest. Right? Number two. Yes. The difference is the separate judgment is the role of the CBI and the manner of arrest of the CBI. Yes, one judge has a different opinion. The other judge has a different opinion.
So we will not say that it's the opinion of the Supreme Court.
Aren't you concerned?
No. I'll tell you why.
You're not concerned.
I'll tell you why.
That one of the judges is saying timing of the arrest raises suspicion.
I'll tell you why.
CBI moved in only after Kejriwal was granted bail in ED case. CBI's arrest was to frustrate the bail granted to Kejriwal.
I'll tell you why.
You are not worried about it.
I'll tell you why. Because Justice Suryakant is also not worried about it. Who's sitting on the
the same Justice Suryakant gave him bail.
But Justice Suryakant did not question on the validity
Justice
of the CBI.
Suryakant gave him bail, saying triple test of bail has been successfully met.
Zaka, nobody is debating whether the bail should be given or not. You are saying that the functioning of the
CBI. Why was he kept in custody then?
Has the Supreme Court
said that
illegal.
was
I'll
he
tell you
kept
why.
in
I'll
custody
tell you
by
why.
the CBI
Because at that
for the
time,
last
okay.
few months? At
So,
that time?
as per the Supreme Court, as per the courts, when he applied for the bail, the bail was not granted.
ED case. No, once again, ED case
Yes, this is
came.
the
He
CBI
was going
case.
to get bail in ED case.
Okay.
Why did the CBI arrest him?
You asked the Supreme
No,
Court.
I'm
why
asking
did the
you.
Supreme Court- I'll
I'm
tell
asking you.
You should know.
You are the spokesperson of the ruling party.
I'm
I'm asking you, sir.
I'll tell you.
Why did the CBI arrest? Court has today said only purpose of CBI to arrest Mr. Kejriwal was to frustrate the bail granted by Kejriwal. CBI moved in only after Kejriwal was granted bail in ED case.
That is one of the judges who said this. Justice
This is
Suryakant did not
the
agree with what you
opinion
said.
of Justice Ujjal
But
Bayan.
is it the opinion of Justice Suryakant? No.
Are you
Justice Suryakant and Justice Ujjal will agree on the legality of arrest.
Is CBI going to go back to a higher bench, a larger bench, and say, "Oh, Justice Suryakant did not
Come
say
on.
this. Please put him back in jail." Are you telling me this?
Zaka, please
Anybody
Zaka,
with
Zaka.
elementary knowledge
No,
of
no,
law
Zaka,
knows that both judges have concurred in the matter.
No,
Sir,
no. Both judges
what
have
was
not
the matter?
concurred.
What was the matter?
Okay,
One
let
second.
us go.
What
Okay,
was the matter?
no. Yeah, this is the
Matter was,
No.
should Kejriwal be given
No,
bail or not?
No.
Was the matter,
No, that
should
was not.
Kejriwal,
No,
what was
there
the
were three.
matter?
I'll tell you.
What was the matter?
Open
No,
the
one
paragraph.
second. What was the
Open
matter?
Open the order.
What was the
I'll tell you.
matter
Three.
before the Supreme Court?
Three matters. Please
No.
read.
What was the fundamental case before the Supreme Court?
Okay, I'm reading it now. Allow me to read the Supreme Court. Please, Sonia. Having considered the material on record and the extensive submission made by the parties, the following questions fall for a deliberation. Okay? Point number one, whether there was any illegality in the appellant's arrest, that is on